Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. And today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book tag. So I just have to preface this by saying this is my first year on YouTube, and it's also my first year where I've read this many books at this point in the year. So I'm actually very, very proud of myself. So, without further ado, let's get into the questions. So question 1 is, how has your 2025 reading year gone so far? Now, I'm very happy with my reading, as I just said. I had a goal this year of reading 45 books. We're halfway through the year and I've read 38 of those 45 books. So I'm very, very happy with that. Saying all of that, I have had my best reading year, but I've also had book slumps within this year as well. So it's just different things happening, and I'm achieving my goal, and I'm just really happy with that. Along with the 38 books that I've read this year, I've read 15,417 pages, and I've had an average rating of 3.46 stars. So that is actually less than the average that I had at this point last year, but I have read more books than I did at this point last year, so it's sort of equaling itself out because I haven't just focused on the best books. A lot of my books have averaged around 3.5 to 4 stars, and I haven't had a heap of 5-star books, but I also haven't had very many really low, like 1.5 to 2-star books. I haven't gone down to a 1 yet. Fingers crossed I don't this year, because I have been DNFing books before they get to that point. Question number 2 is, what is the best book that you've read so far in 2025? And again, like I said, I didn't have many 5 stars, but I have one 5-star that stood out beyond the rest and had me in a chokehold, and that was The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart by Holly Ringland. I don't think that I've read a book this year so far that has been as good as this one, and I'd be surprised if I get one for the rest of the year that is as good as this one was. This is definitely a 6-star read for me. It hit home a lot more than other books would have, and also I can't stop thinking about it. A lot of books that I've finished this year, you couldn't even pay me to tell you the plot because it's gone. But I remember everything that happened in that book and everything that I felt while reading it. And it's going to be in here for a long time. And I can't wait to read more of her books because it's just so amazing, the experience that I had with that. So that is my favorite book so far this year. Question number 3 is the best sequel that I've read this year. So I haven't read a lot of sequels this year that I enjoyed, but there are 2 that do stand out to me. So the first one is Apprentice to the Villain, which is the sequel to Assistant to the Villain. I really enjoyed this sequel, and it is up there in my favorite sequels of this year, but just note that it's not a 5 stars, along with Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, which is a sequel to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. It was not a 5-star, but it was still one of the best sequels that I read this year. And I'm hoping to read more sequels in the second half of the year, and hopefully they get better as well. But yes, unfortunately, the rest of the sequels that I read this year have let me down in certain ways, and I haven't read very many of them. I've been starting new series, and I probably should stop doing that. So hopefully in the second half, I'll read more sequels. The next question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. So my number 1 new release that I have not read yet that I want to, and I've got it reserved at my library, so I'll have it in August, is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I've been looking forward to reading this, but I haven't bought it because I want a certain edition that's going to match my editions there of the Hunger Games that I have. And if I can't, at least that size would be preferable. So I have it waiting at the library for me to read. I can't wait to read it. It's going to be such a good experience. I can't wait. On that note, I have a second book that I really want to read that is on my top shelf at the moment, and I'm hoping to read that this month because it is one of the book club's books on Fable that I'm a part of, and I can't wait to get to it, which is Shield of Sparrows by Devony Perry. I have heard very many good things about this book, and I'm very excited to have another 5-star read. I've got high hopes, and I'm hoping that doesn't ruin it for me. I'm hoping this is such a good book, and I'm hoping I have a great experience with it. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to picking that book up soon. Now, the next question is, what's my most anticipated release for the second half of 2025? And I have a couple. So my first one that I'm really anticipating is Eternal Ruin by Tiger Skirma. I read her first book, Immortal Dark, during this year, and I very much enjoyed it, and I think that I want to see what's going to happen next, because there were so many things up in the air, and I just can't wait to get my hands on that book and see if it's just as good as the first book was. The next book I can't wait to be released is Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mehra, which is the third book in the Assistant to the Villain series, and I can't wait to get my hands on that one either, because I very much want to find out what's going to happen next in that world as well, and it's just such an enjoyable world to be in and to be reading. The next book that I'm excited to be released is Freeing the Wild by Paisley Hope, which is the fourth book in this series, which is what I just read in my last video. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. I don't know if it's the last one. It might be the last one in the series. And if that's the case, oh no, I hope not. But I am also looking forward to reading some more of her other books as I go forward. But I'm very much looking forward to that one, because once I read the second and third one, I'm just going to want to get my hands on the fourth one and finish off the series. And the last book that I'm highly anticipating is not necessarily a new release, but it's a new trad published release. So it has already been released as an indie copy, but this is the traditional copy of the second book in the Heavenly Bodies trilogy, which is Fallen Stars by Amani Eruyu. I'm really looking forward to this because I loved Heavenly Bodies, and the way it ended, I'm unsure what's going to happen next, but I'm really excited for it, and I understand that it is technically a new release now that I'm thinking about it, because they have changed it from the indie published version. So until that gets released, I'll be sitting on the edge of my seat waiting, and I'll be sure to go and buy it straight away. Hold me back, I dare you. But those are the 4 books that I'm really highly anticipating for the rest of the year. There could be more that get added there that I'm not unsure about and I don't know are coming out, but those are the 4 that I'm very excited for so far. The next question is my biggest disappointment for 2025. So I have only one book that really disappointed me compared to what I thought it would do, and that is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. Now, if you didn't watch my last video, I go into more depth on what I thought of that book, so I don't feel the need to go into depth here, but essentially that was just a disappointing ending to a trilogy with novellas that could have been a lot better, and from what the first book started out like, I expected a lot better, and unfortunately it just didn't live up to that expectation of mine. And I don't think I'm alone in that opinion. I think a lot of people were disappointed by it, but also a lot of people thought it redeemed itself in the third book. So maybe I'm an outlier as well. But yes, that's my biggest disappointment for this year, and I don't feel the need to go into it as much because, again, I went into it in the last video that I uploaded on this channel, which was part 6 of the Rainbow Challenge, and I feel like you could probably go over there if you needed to know more information about that. But yes, I'm still very much fresh off that book and very much disappointed with the way that it happened and the way that it ended, unfortunately. The next question is my biggest surprise of 2025, and I honestly think only one book holds this pedestal, and I think it's Immortal Dark by Tiger Skirma. I did not expect to love that book. As I was reading it even, I was thinking the characters were unhinged. I was thinking the plot was a little bit unhinged. But at the end of the day, I could not find anything wrong with that book. And I enjoyed it so much. And it was so much more addictive and enjoyable than I thought it would be. And I would not have picked it up if it wasn't picked as a book club book on one of the book clubs I'm in on Fable. And I just had such a good experience with that book that I can't wait to continue, but also I do remember a lot of it. And I actually think in that book club, I was an outlier in my thoughts. A lot of people did not rate that highly. but I couldn't think of anything wrong with it. I honestly enjoyed it so much, and I enjoyed the character's sort of, I wouldn't say downfall, but her spiral, but in the way that she sort of ended with like she had an understanding. I don't know. It was just really good. The character was really good. The characters were really good. And I can't wait to continue. And I honestly didn't expect that from that book. I didn't expect that at all. So the next question is favourite new author to me. So I think, I hate to repeat myself, but I think Holly Ringland, who wrote The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart, is probably my favourite new author that I've discovered this year. And again, I can't wait to read more of her books. I know she's got, I assume, a non-fiction, and she's got one other fiction that I own. I need her to release more books. I need to experience this with her and everything. Honestly, I don't know how she has dug so deep into my heart to love her so much. From a fantasy lover, she has captured my attention, and she does not write fantasy. So we will see what happens in the future, but she's definitely one of my favourite new authors that I've discovered this year. I don't think there's anyone else that has gotten as high as her this year that I can say is a favourite. The next question is newest fictional crush. And unfortunately, as much as I have loved books this year and I've rated them 5 stars, I don't think that I've gained any new fictional crushes. Honestly, I think that if I have a crush on anyone, it's not one of the male characters. A lot of them were left a lot to be desired, and I didn't really appreciate them. If anything, I have a girl crush on a lot of the female characters, and that's okay. I loved Alice Hart in The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. I would die for her. I loved her so much. But I don't think that I have gained any fictional crushes this year that I can say are memorable. Like, if I'm talking really into it, Riddick from Onyx Storm, probably high up there. I'm working my way off Xaden from Onyx Storm. I don't think that he's as high as he used to be, but it's not because of what's happening in the book. It's more that, I don't know, I think that I'm starting to like the side characters to the Shadow Daddies more than I'm liking the Shadow Daddies themselves. So yeah, unfortunately, I think maybe Riddick's the closest that I can come up with, but yeah, I don't really have any new ones this year. Okay, next question is, what is a book that made you cry? And there are only 2 books that have made me cry this year. The first one, obviously, being The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart by Holly Ringland, obviously made me bawl my eyes out multiple times. I was in pain, but in the best possible way. And the second book that made me cry was Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eriu. And honestly, it's mainly just the ending that made me cry in that one. It was horrible and heart-wrenching, and I cannot wait to continue the series to hopefully fix my little tears in my little heart that have been left there by that book. The next question is a book you saw on TikTok that you regret reading, and I have 2. The first one, without going into too much depth, the first one was Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. It just didn't live up to the hype. It did not live up to the hype. And the second one is Flawless by Elsie Silver, which, in saying that, I am planning on continuing the series to see if it gets better, but Flawless was just not for me. It was such a disappointment, and I honestly, with my whole heart, without trying to offend anyone, I don't understand how it's got as much hype as it does. But it's okay. It's alright. Everyone's fine. But yes, they're the 2 books that I was most disappointed that I saw on TikTok. And in saying that, I didn't really see them on TikTok. I saw them being talked about on YouTube because I don't really watch TikTok as much. But a lot of people were talking about them on social media anyway. So the next question is, what's the most beautiful book that you bought this year? And I'm just going to preface this by saying my most beautiful books that I have accumulated this year were not bought by myself. I'm a part of a Facebook group, and they do a book fairy, and where you gift to someone else and they give someone different gifts to you. Now I am going to start with the one that my best friend bought for me, which is The Last One by Rachel Howazell Hall. Now, she bought me this hardcover. It's got sprayed edges. They're so beautiful. It has the back, and then when you open it up, there's a butterfly. I say butterfly, it's a moth. There's a moth on the inside, and you've just got such beautiful art on the front cover and everything. It's just so pretty. I love it so much. That's the one that my best friend got me because I had gifted her a book as well. But that one is number 1 of my most beautiful books. I also have the first fairy I ever received, which is Heaven Breaker by Sarah Wolf. And again, sprayed edges, beautiful. I guess it's either a goddess or a warrior, whatever. They're just so pretty, just so beautiful. And when I open it up, we have beautiful art in the front covers. It's so pretty. There's just so many beautiful things about these books. But as much as I love how pretty these books are, my favourite so far is one of the last ones that I received, which is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And it's again a hardcover. It's got some sprayed flowers on the edges, but this has a whole lot more. So we have the front cover, and then when you open the front cover, you have one artwork. And then bear with me. You open the back cover and you have another artwork. If I don't cover it up, there we go. And then this one also has, because it's a anniversary edition, in the center we have some more artwork pages that there's quite a few. They're very hard to show. But there's just artwork in the center, and it's just really, really cool because they're set up like little photos that she stuck places, and I cannot wait to read this book. I have not read this book yet, but I just love how beautiful the cover is that I've got. It's just so pretty. I do believe there's also one picture in the front there. It's just so pretty, and I love it so much. But they are my 3 most beautiful books that I've accumulated this year, and other people have bought them for me, and it's just so nice and so much more special when you get that from someone else. So yeah, love those so much. Okay, the last question is, what are the books you need to read by the end of the year? And honestly, I'm just going to outright say it. I have 110 books on this bookshelf that I have not gotten to yet. And honestly, if I don't prioritize them before the end of the year and make sure that I've read more books on this bookshelf than I have unread, I'm going to be a little bit sad. Not really, but you know, I would like to accomplish something with clearing off my TBR. So yes, all the books that I'm planning on reading before the end of the year are on this shelf. I may not get to all of them because again, there's 110, but hopefully I get to a fair chunk of them, and hopefully I can get through it and become, like I said, read more than I have unread. So yes, that is all of the questions for this book tag. I hope you all enjoyed that. I really enjoyed answering those questions. It was kind of cool to go through the past half a year and just see what I enjoyed and what I had a good time with, and just reminisce a little bit on everything. And I actually think I'm doing pretty good. 6 months in, I think I'm doing all right. So hopefully the rest of the year is just as good, and I will see you in my next video. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe, go back and watch my previous videos, support this channel. I would love it so much if you came back to my little corner of the internet and spent some more time with me. So until the next video, I'll see you then. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, wonderful rest of your month, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.